Hi, and welcome to our live series on midlife crisis. So say hi in the comments if this is the first video you watched of mine on midlife crisis or on anything. So this video is about the challenging and often painful self-examination that happens if people successfully move through the stages of midlife crisis. So many people don't understand midlife crisis and especially why it can be so painful, which is why I'm doing this series. Now, my name is Kira Lescu and welcome to the channel. So subscribe to get notified of our regular live streams, which will be Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and to get notified of our other new videos on both midlife crisis and meditation solutions for leaders. So I've been getting a lot of comments from younger people that recognize the symptoms of a midlife crisis. And the whole world right now is facing some astrology that is very similar to a midlife crisis. So if you're younger or older than your 40s, then this video and the techniques that I'll suggest to help you out will work for you. Now, if you're going through self-examination and feeling unhappy or disheartened as a result, then this is a good thing. As long as you follow with what I'm going to give to you here and you get it turned around to reevaluating what really needs to change in your life and possibly broader society as well and how you can contribute to that. So you can't change everybody, but you have complete freedom to reinvent your own life to make you happy. And believe it or not, when you work on and heal the issues that you discover in stage 4 of your midlife crisis, it leads to lasting feelings of happiness, joy, and a deep authenticity that you just didn't even know was possible. You will also discover your particular route to success, which is different for every person. There are 12 main themes or topics of a midlife crisis. And the thing that they all have in common is your theme of your personal midlife crisis will be your blind spot in life that you don't want to face or maybe don't even know about. And I know that doesn't seem fair. And this is my theme of my midlife crisis talking about because I like everything to be fair. But you will be happier, more successful, and have more choices when you face your weaknesses and develop them into your strength, especially when it's the one of your midlife crisis. So I've heard more people give me excuses as to why they don't need to face their weaknesses or their blind spots than I have seen people take the time to effectively heal the pain that will bring them the success that they really want and the happiness that they really want. Now, very often these people do the same things over and over again, getting the same results, and they refuse to change. So have you ever seen somebody like that? Have you maybe done that? Well, I was training somebody this week on this, and he finally gave up after failing over and over and over again and decided to face his challenges and do a plan to start working on them, which is stage 5. He started to take meditation training with me to help with his stage 4 to develop his intuition. Now, he wasn't actually doing it to help his midlife crisis. He was doing it to pivot his business in light of quarantine. And then, whoa, lo and behold, his midlife crisis issues came to the forefront. So everything in your life is connected. And he thought that he would work on his midlife crisis issues after he got the business success what he wanted. And he told me that he refused to believe that facing his midlife crisis would help his business. Now, I already knew that he really needed to hear his intuition, which is something that I train many people on as part of erasing their karma. And erasing karma is the main point of a midlife crisis. So in this case, like in many, he started the meditation techniques to improve his intuition, which guided him to work on the issues of his midlife crisis. I told you, midlife crisis will get you in your karma one way or the other. So working on your midlife crisis isn't coming from me. The reason why you're uncomfortable is it's your own intuition speaking to you on how to live your best life, and you're not doing it right now. Now, your best life is the one where you will make the most progress and be the happiest in all areas. So this shows yet again, honestly, you just can't avoid it. Your midlife crisis and the themes that it's going to bring to your attention will find a way to help you face the parts of yourselves that aren't well developed and you may not even know that you need to develop or heal. And it's through developing those blind spots that you have the most growth. And as a result of that, the most satisfaction, and very often, in fact, in almost every case I've ever seen, higher level of success than they ever dreamed possible, and usually at things they didn't even know that they could do or wanted. So how do you go from not liking what you see in yourself, which is stage 4, to healing without getting depressed or acting out, or at least minimizing acting out? And by that, I mean avoiding your issues and creating unnecessary drama in your life, or lashing out at other people whose role it is to help you wake up. Now, honestly, everybody does this to a certain degree, and I certainly did. Now, this man that I was helping with was working on his intuition, realized that he was avoiding speaking his truth in life in order to keep other people so-called happy. Now, this was costing him financially because he wasn't getting the sales that he wanted in his business, because he wasn't actually getting the truth from his potential customers. Literally, they were pleasing him with the right answers that would make him go away. And once he got okay with the discomfort, then he was able to start to probe these people deeper so that they recognize their own patterns, which he helped them with. Now, he tried everything prior to working on his intuition, which was leading to working on stage 5 of his midlife crisis. He had tried to avoid rocking the boat with people that really needed to be aware of their behavior. And he was unable to call out how these people were sabotaging themselves, and very often the people that they worked with, because he was doing the same thing. Once he recognized his stage 4 issue, or at least the main symptom of it, then he was ready to start stage 5, which is the deep inner work, which is erasing the issues from his mind and emotions. So everything to do with a midlife crisis is about the inner work. Who you are, your karma, your blind spots, and your strengths. So it really starts in stage 1 with that, which is where you're vaguely dissatisfied. And in stage 2, where you try to find conditions to make you happy and they just don't work. To stage 3, where you start to question yourself and start to make progress about everything you ever thought you knew. And in stage 4, where you see your weaknesses, your blind spots, and the things that you were just missing before in life, as well as your inner emotional pain, and you don't like what you see. Now, if you can get to stage 4, it really does get better from here on in. And you get more effective in life by doing the inner work. And very often, even some awareness can help you with this. But it's when you really start to do the deep inner work that you really start to make rapid progress. But before you jump ahead to that, congratulate yourself on making it this far. Midlife crisis is about the inner journey to success, and you cannot fake that journey. So what makes this stage easier for people to handle? Because it can be kind of challenging. Well, there are 2 things that work really well and prepare you for stage 5 and to have success in stage 5. The first is meditation, and the second is advanced forgiveness techniques. Now, not all meditations will work here. So if you think you can just go and download an app and meditate for 15 minutes a day and this will all go away, you will be disappointed. Meditation is like prescriptions, and you need the right one for your midlife crisis theme, at the level that is appropriate for your meditation experience level and the type and the amount of karma that you have. Now, I regularly have people that have similar themes, but their meditation experience is different, and the karma they have is different. So they have different techniques to practice in order to make progress quickly without getting overwhelmed emotionally. There is no one-size-fits-all answer for midlife crisis other than to work on your blind spots. And when you do that, especially with the right meditations, you can successfully get to the other side in about 3 years for most people. Now, many people ask me why it takes that long, and that's because most people, even if they have a solid meditation background like I did, need time to erase the karma a bit at a time. And I've worked with expert meditators that were just at the end of their midlife crisis, and they typically need almost a year to do the techniques that really erase all the karma for their midlife crisis theme. And that's assuming that they do the advanced techniques to erase karma, which I also teach. So currently I'm aware of only about 10 other people in the world that teach these rapid techniques to erase karma. So if you want to do the fast track, or even if you just want to get started, you can book an evaluation with me in the link below this video. Now, most of all, I want to encourage you to keep going with your midlife crisis, because the issues stay until the karma is erased. I often have people come to me and then think they can avoid the issues, and then they come back 2 years, 3 years, 5 years later, and they're talking about the same problems, sometimes with this different people, but it's the same essential issue when you boil down to the core of it. So I was talking to someone this week that did that, and I was working with another lady that I had talked to about the same time as him. She's pretty much finished stage 6 of her midlife crisis with just minor things to work through, and he's going back and forth between stage 2 and 3, and he's tried everything he can think of to avoid it. He spent tens of thousands of dollars on private coaching programs, and all of them have served to help him avoid his midlife crisis, and he still hasn't got the fulfillment and the success that he wants, because he's trying to do what worked early in his life, which is working on his strengths. Once he learned that, and he started to realize that he was afraid of facing his weaknesses. So this is a big thing that people have, whether it's midlife crisis or any type of inner healing journey, is we have fears about facing parts of ourselves. So you don't have to be fearful as you face them. The right meditation techniques will help you to eliminate your fears. And he was laughing with me after he started this, saying he didn't know how I put up with his excuses. And I laughed and said there are plenty of people that want to do the inner work and get to the benefits on the other side. And I also told him that I trusted he would come around when he realized that it was easier than he thought if you had the right techniques. Now, he was only able to know his inner truth and to speak it to others confidently when he went through a meditation process that erased the patterns in his consciousness that said the path to happiness and success was by not rocking the boat and by being a team player or going with what is at all costs. Now, most people really avoid talking about fear in midlife crisis. And you can call it fear or stress or anxiety or negative emotion. But really anything that's negative in the way that you feel that's preventing you from doing the thing that you want to do, that's your blind spot. And most people don't even know they're afraid. They just want to accomplish their goals from their strengths, not from their blind spots. So they just keep going back to the strengths over and over again. So in order to help people overcome this, we make it easier with our curated meditation techniques to face your blind spots or your karma, to reduce and eliminate your fears, and to successfully get through stage 5, which is the deep inner work. So please let me know what you think about the unpleasant self-examination that is at the start of the transformation of a midlife crisis. So this is when you get into the real work in stage 4. Now, if you want to know about stage 5 and all the 6 stages of a midlife crisis, I recommend you go to theeagleinstitute.com, where we have more resources to help you successfully get through your midlife crisis.